What up, what up, what up, what up? You already know what it is. You have just entered the war zone. Let's go. Now, we have Ilhan Omar on the docket. We have Ilhan Omar looking to elude all of the mischief that her and her Pirates of the Caribbean has caused. We now know that Ilhan Omar has married her brother. Okay, we have proof that Ilhan married her brother. Can you believe that? Who can believe that? Who can believe that? A U.S. Congresswoman married her own brother. Unthinkable has been happening in America. The unspeakable actions of these politicians has been absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. So we're going to talk about Ilhan Omar, and we're also going to talk about President Donald Trump. We're going to talk about our President Donald Trump. He is out there actively just steamrolling. We are waiting right now for birthright citizenship to be heard. Finally, we're going to get clarification from the Supreme Court on birthright citizenship. We're going to dive into that also, the birthright citizenship, and we're going to dive into how Donald Trump is going to conquer birthright citizenship for illegal aliens and nationals being totally stripped away. Donald Trump is on a huge winning streak. Donald Trump is 92% Donald Trump has a 92% winning rate when it comes to the Supreme Court. I'm telling you, you immigrants, please be worried. You very, very much should be worried. This is not a good time in history for you here in America. It's not going to end well for any of you non-Americans. You know, we mean that. You mean to tell me the black voting bloc as well as the white voting bloc are actually literally on the same freaking page? Are you kidding me? No, but this is what's happening right now. This is what's happening right now. Donald Trump just got up there and told you people, black people love Donald Trump. Black people love Donald Trump because Donald Trump understands how he gets treated when he gets around the true black community. He understands that. Okay? Trump understands what's going on. And I am here to help my black people understand what's going on. No longer, dear black people, will Minister Warzone sit back and allow these leftist, democrat, radical, communist traitors continue to rattle your brain. No longer are we going for that. So let's get at Ilhan. Let's get at Ilhan. Now, I want you to take a look at this real quick. How these ladies from The View. I'm going to get at all of your comments for sure. I will be getting at your comments. That's a fact. Just do me one. All I ask is when you enter into the war zone. This is all I ask. In the comment section, you do not allow non-Americans to swamp our comment section. It's bad enough these non-American bad actors are all around our nation, invading our political spaces, invading our social norms. It's bad enough we have to deal with that. What I ask is that you, American woman, American man, do not allow non-Americans to disrespect your minister of the war zone who's bringing you the war report. And we must understand and know how we will be marching moving forward. So do me a favor and smack that like button. It's almost 100 of y'all in here, all across many social media platforms. Do me a favor and smack that like button, because smacking that like button is actually saluting the USA. It's not saluting me, it's saluting the USA along with me, because I am saluting the USA. I am pushing the USA rhetoric. I'm pushing the USA messaging and war reports that we need to get out to our tricked black people and our tricked white people. Okay, so let's get to this, right? Let's take a look at The View, how The View likes to constantly just pound on Donald Trump and don't want to bring any real solutions to any of their rhetoric. Constantly just want to turn the Democratic women listeners and viewers into a mob of mudslingers. Okay? Let's take a look at this.
You know who held a rally in Pennsylvania last night where he renewed his attacks on some usual targets and boasted about using an ethnic slur that he's denied using in the past. Take a look.
I love this Ilhan Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little shoe, the little turban. I love her. She's here illegally. She should get the hell out. Throw the hell out. She does nothing but complain. I've also announced a permanent pause on third world migration, including from hellholes like Afghanistan, Haiti, Somalia, and many other countries. We had a meeting, and I say, why is it we only take people from hole countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few?
Well, they see you as the president, and they don't want to come here. That's
I have a great idea. I have a really good idea.
Okay.
Why doesn't he go to Norway and stay there? He loves it so much.
They won't let him in. They will not let him in.
That's true. I don't think they will.
No, they won't let him in. And when you heard him finally say out loud, I don't know.
Whippy, I don't think you are accurate in what you are stating right there about our good commander-in-chief, Donald Trump. Because Sweden, Denmark will allow Donald Trump. I'm not sure if they will allow you, Whippy Goldberg, into their country, okay? I'm pretty sure Sweden will take Donald Trump over you every day of the week. I'm pretty sure about that. Let me know. Am I tripping? Chat? Am I tripping? Will Denmark or Sweden accept Donald Trump over Whippy Goldberg? See, this is the complete delusional spirit that these people are attempting to pump or keep pumping into our democratic black intellectuals who are totally dumbfounded on politics and what's going on. Point blank period. Let's move.
I don't know why this is a shock to people, because he's been saying this stuff for ages, you know, and to be perfectly clear, Congresswoman Omar is a naturalized U.S. citizen. Okay? So all the folks there that were waving and yelling, you know, she has every right to be here. She came here the way you say you want people to come here. So you have to recognize when people do it the right way. You keep saying,
I don't know about that, Whippy. So we are just picking on somebody for no reason. I'm not sure about that, Whippy. I'm not sure about that. We're not sure about that. Okay? From what we are hearing, all reports are saying that when her father fled as a national who was in the actual government over there in Somalia, he fled because, from what we are hearing, he fled because he has done some wrongdoing over there in Somalia. And when he came over here, excuse me, didn't he come over here as temporarily protected? Didn't Ilhan come over to the United States temporarily protected? Do me a favor, put that into the chat. If Ilhan came over here under TPS, in which our president is about to abolish the temporary status for the Somalians. How did she come over here the right way and the right way everybody? How? She came over here as a little girl, fled our homeland. We were nice enough to allow some Somalians to come over here that were fleeing their country during civil war. But this temporary status is only valid for 60 to 90 days. 30, 60 to 90 days. In some cases, 6 months. However, every president that has been coming in since 90, has been extending this TPS until our president, Donald J. Trump. He has the absolute right to end TPS status. I don't understand that. I don't understand. The TPS status is exactly what it is. Temporary status. It's a temporary protective status. It's temporary. It's not permanent.
saying you want it done this way. And when it's done this way, this is how you talk about people. This is how you talk about American citizens.
Well, I kind of miss the good old days where people just knew how to disagree on policy and ideology in government, because it's not a surprise he wouldn't like her politics. She's one of the most progressive members in Congress. She advocates for Medicare for all.
Watch how delusional. All right, these people are not delusional. They want to make you delusional. They want to make you miss the boat. They want to keep you off your game. Listen to what she's about to say. Listen to how these people are championing a person who's sending our funds back to an offshore country and sending it right, putting it right into the hands of a T organization. Okay, let's go. Smack that like button, people. Smack that like button. I will be getting at your comments. When I dip into that comment section, I certainly look to see my USA their citizens representing. That's a fact. Let's go.
Supports tuition-free college, wants to abolish ICE and reduce policing. But it's ignorance that fuels him. He fear-mongers. And so what he does is, rather than selling an idea of politics or something, the best solutions for this country, he only knows how to play off people's fears. And that's how he gets his...
Obviously, well, it's racism, but racism is a form of ignorance and fear.
That's where it comes from. So he's playing off that rather than gathering support on ideas. And he also had something to push back on the Democrats. This corruption scandal in Minnesota was a big deal. It was $1 billion of taxpayer money. But because he went and made it a racist attack on an entire group, he lost a win he could have played against Democrats. And that's the problem. You lose people with that narrative when it becomes about your words rather than the crime that happened there in Minnesota.
So can we just talk for a second about the blatant racism, though?
Yeah.
What's the difference between Somalia and Norway? Hello?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so obvious that that is what it is.
These people are unbelievably delusional. Unbelievable. These people are delusional, people. Delusional, straight delusion. And want to send you into a state of delusion. They want to keep you calm when it's time to panic. You know, it's not time to panic, but it is time to have a heightened sense of urgency right now. Okay? These people are tricking you. This is the propaganda machine that I'm showing you right here. That's the propaganda machine that's paid to keep you off balance. This is what these people are doing. This is what Whoopi Goldberg is doing. This is why they keep Whoopi Goldberg on The View, to attempt to throw my people off the rails mentally, to throw my people off the cliff, walk them straight off the cliff. This is what this propaganda machine looks like. So glad God gave us alternative media. So glad we have this media in which we all can convey and correspond our thoughts on what's going on truly and what we actually see. So glad that you have stepped in with the Minister Warzone here, who's truly connected to his local government. I'm connected to my local government. I'm also connected on a state level with politicians. I'm also connected in a governor's office. Okay, and I'm letting you know that this is what's going on. But let me put it like this: what's going on behind the scenes of politics is so unbelievable, so disingenuous, so manipulative, to the point where it makes our street hustlers and our street thugs look like choir boys. And I mean that. But what you are seeing from this Minnesota tackle of our beautiful social service system here in America, what you are seeing is none more on what's been happening all around America. And the attack is the clear targeted attack is on the black community. The funny thing is, the black community don't know that they are helping push themselves even further down the rabbit hole. They don't understand that. They don't understand they are helping the enemy, the op, drive the steak knife into their back. They don't know that. They're standing alongside with the op. Islam is the op. Islam is the op. Islam was pushed on you people. Pushed on you by who? Not the Republicans. The Democrats. Who brought these Islamic jihadists in here? None other than your President Obama. Okay? President Obama. Now we are learning breaking news today. Let's get to some news. Let's get to some news real quick. I'm gonna enter this comment section. Let me see what's going on. Boss, what a great show. What a great host. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh my God, a black king. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for the love, Ray Ray. Know what I'm saying? Minister Warzone. When were you in the joint and did oil? Wrong, Ray. Black man talking the comment. Wrong, Ray. Black man talking common sense. That's all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Come on, you know what I'm saying? We pinned in that comment. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so kindly. Do me a favor, smack that like button. Let's get to the news real quick. All right, I'm gonna elaborate on it, and let's see what's going on out here, man. Because I don't got no time for these Islamic jokes that's jumping into the comments, attempting to ruin our war report and get our people off track. Continue to push our people off track. We're not with that. We're not with that. Islam is not for us. And it's not even for the people that actually serve it, actually. But let's go.
Small business owners across the country are using.
Could be billions, at least 1 billion, could go higher. Mike Tobin's got more on that now. Mike, good morning to you. What do you have?
Well, good morning, Bill. And as you mentioned, Minnesota Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar has been in the crosshairs. She made a statement that there were insufficient guardrails to defrauded programs like Feed the Future. Speaking on Face the Nation, she defended against the fact that all but a handful of the suspects and convicts in this case are from Minnesota's Somali community.
This also has an impact on Somalis because we are also taxpayers in Minnesota. We also could have benefited from the program and the money that was stolen. And so it's been really frustrating for people to not acknowledge the fact that we're also as Minnesotans, as taxpayers, really upset and angry about the fraud that has occurred.
Analysts with whom we have been speaking say it's unlikely Omar would not have some exposure to the corruption. She introduced a legislation that created the program that was defrauded to the tune of $250 million. She also held a victory party in 2018 at a restaurant called Safari, owned by Salim Ahmed Saeed, a major player convicted in the...
I mean, how could she not have any type of hand in, we talking about upwards of $8 billion going out. The lady went from 67,000 to 3 million, and then from 3 million to 30 million in 3 years. From 3 million, so in 4 years, she went from 67,000 to $30 million. Now that is the American dream there, people. Please, how do you get that? And how do you make that type of money here in America? And how do you do it without scamming? And the thing is, Bernie, from what we are hearing, Bernie Madoff, right? He scammed and did not even make that rate of what Ilhan has done in 4 years. Okay, we talking about a huge, immense jump. Okay, we talking about a 46,000% jump from 67,000 to $30 million. Okay, and we're just, look, imagine these people were actually black people. Now, I mean, let's imagine, listen, my dear brethren in the white in the white and American citizenry, you would have more than likely been out here protesting, damn near would have surrounded and encircled the White House if this was black people. These are Somalians and have arguably have ripped off the Americas in the most heinous and the most egregious way. Okay, they are arguably the top people for now who have ripped off the American people at such a large number. Okay, we're talking about upwards of $8 billion. Okay, we're talking about, they're saying over $8 billion. And this lady created this program that has generated this $8 billion going out to a T organization called Al Shabaab out there in Africa. Okay, and you mean to tell me the lady who created the program had no idea, none? Let's move.
In the scheme.
I think all this will be investigated very thoroughly because there's really a national spotlight on Minnesota and all its problems. I mean, this is a scandal.
It's over. It's over. About 70 of y'all here. Smack that like button. Smack that like button. Where my Americans at? Is America standing up? All you have to do is smack that like button. Smack that like button. Let's go.
Scandal that is by far the biggest in state history.
The biggest.
White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller said on Friday the Somali fraud will prove to be the greatest theft of taxpayer dollars through welfare in U.S. history. And he says we have only begun to scratch the surface of how bad it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Fox weather tells me it's 10 degrees in Minneapolis where you are. Wind chill -2. But Tobin is tough because he has summited Mount Everest. Thank you, Mike. Talk soon. Thank you.
Got it, pal.
Dana.
So let's bring in Kaylee McEnany. She's host of Saturday in America, co-host of Outnumbered. You can find her everywhere, and we love it. Keith Ellis.
We're going to allow this. We're going to allow this. These people done ripped us off for damn near $10 billion, and we're racist. We're the racist over here. We can't call them out as a group. I mean, your group did that. I don't understand that. And we're the racist. Huh? How? How is that? No, let's go.
Ellison, who's the Attorney General. This guy, they need to look into him. This is what he said on a weekend show.
Let me just say this. We all want to protect the public dollar. We want to prosecute people who engage in fraud. We are up for that. But we can't do it on a partisan basis. We got to do it together.
Hey, yo, this guy, I think, is shaking in his boots. This is supposed to be the AG over there. How did you let this slip by you? You, the governor, and the congresswoman who actually created the program. Whose fault is this? Whose fault is this? Let me know. Whose fault is this? That's crazy. This guy is shaking. This guy is shaking. What are you talking about? Some part? Nigga, you just ripped, your state just ripped us off for $10 billion. And not only that, it's not like the $10 billion, like let's say the blacks ripped you off for $10 billion. At least it would stay here in America. At least businesses would be getting taken care of back and forth with the white community, back and forth with the black. At least bare minimum. I mean, bare minimum. I'm not vouching for that, not at all. But damn it, bare minimum. These people are sending it out of the country. And not just out of the country, sending it to a T organization. Wow. But I just want to show you the trickery in politics, how they circle around. No, we didn't ask you that. We want to know why they stole that money. That's it. Get to the point. Don't. This is politics. This is politics. Let me show you politics propaganda. This is what this guy is about to do. He's about to spin it. He's trying to be a spin doctor. Let me show you. Let's go.
Let me just say this. We all want to protect the public dollar. We want to prosecute people who engage in fraud. We are up for that. But we can't do it on a partisan basis. We got to do it together. We can't use incidents like this to score a political point.
But as I pointed out last week on this show and on the 5, so he is the attorney general there, used to run the DNC. He solicited political contributions from these groups that were stealing the money. And then when they were asking about these investigations into them, he said, don't worry, I'll tell.
Wait, so you mean to tell me, so he's the AG of Minnesota, and he also used to run the DNC, and you can see it right there on your screen. Used to run DNC. He solicited. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. No wonder we have 180 million illegals or 180 million immigrants in our country right now. I mean, never asked or ran across the American citizens about that. No, I mean, just never asked us. And now we're supposed to fight for them? Wait. You never asked us, and now we're supposed to fight for them to stay? Can you help me make that make sense? Somebody help me make that make sense. Just somebody. We did not ask for you people to come over here. You somehow got over here by people like this that's controlling the DNC. And in their states, they're making billions of dollars. And we're not understanding and then you're turning around the American citizen that's coming to the social service office, coming to get Red Cross relief funds, coming to get relief for their taxes on their homes, coming to get relief for their roofs on their businesses, coming to get relief for their roofs on their homes. You have the funds. The federal government literally sends the funds to the states for you for that. They have more, literally they send more than enough for you. These politicians literally take the money and serve as a filter that sits on your cigarette, okay? Slowly taking away what's supposed to come to you like a rush. You know, they want to seep it out, kibbles and bits. Okay, and this is what's going on. When I got up into politics, I was like, what? I was like, yo, no. I was like, no. I was like, no. Now, you know what? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start swinging off on these boys. On you know what I'm saying? Politically. That's what I said. I'm gonna start doing that. And I have to wake my people up. I'm like, I got to wake my people up. I got to get on these YouTube streets. I've got to get on the streets. You know, I got to be doing these food and clothing drives, right? I got to be putting together all type of events that's benefiting my community, which I have been doing every last point I just made. Let's go. Let's move on.
I'll tell them to knock it off.
Right. And he could have used a little more fervor in telling them to knock it off if he ever even did so, because it didn't stop. The real scandal of all this, Dana, is when you go down that New York Times story that brought a lot of light to this issue, you find that in 2022, most of these prosecutions were underway or starting up. That was Merrick Garland. That was Joe Biden. Merrick Garland called this the country's largest pandemic relief fraud scheme. So where was the sprawling Biden-era investigation? His DOJ was...
Now check this out. Check this out.
Let's see 70,000, 80,000 Somalis sent to Minnesota so they can vote in Ilhan Omar. That's how it was set up. Do you know that?
Wait. Let's see how some of my black sisters here in America is feeling about Ilhan and all of these Somalis and all of these Africans who are claiming to be superior over us here in America, who are claiming that Minnesota is their land and their land claimed to be their land from the Bible from 3,000 years ago. Okay, so let's go. Let's roll. Let's see how the black sisters in the black community is feeling about this somewhat. Let's go.
They are inbred so much that their IQ is between 6,000, 8,000 Somalis sent to Minnesota so they can vote in Ilhan Omar. That's how it was set up. Do you know that they are inbred so much that their IQ is between 60 and 80? If y'all don't get y'all fraudulent, cross-eyed, big foreheaded, incestual asses up out of here. We know you married your brother. Take y'all illegal scamming asses on. Get out. I'm on my way to Minnesota. I'm on my way to ask you questions. You didn't want to say nothing to the white boy that was asking. You want to threaten the white boy, but I bet you won't threaten me. I bet you won't tell me to get the fuck on. I bet I won't. Let's go to Minnesota. Let me call my brother and my best friend, and let's start a TV show. Let's go around to all these damn places and figure out what the fuck is going on. I'm already in Dearborn. Let's start there first. Those motherfuckers need to go to 70.
Oh, so that's how you feel, sister, huh? Oh, okay. Because I thought it was just the black brothers feeling like that. I thought it was just the black brothers feeling like that, dear sister. Okay, I thought it was just you. I thought it was just us.
So Ilhan Omar is all over the news right now, and I definitely think we need to talk about it. In 2018, she became the first Somali American congresswoman, and her district soon became the epicenter of one of Minnesota's biggest fraud scandals ever. Hundreds of millions in taxpayer dollars vanished, and her net worth jumped from negative in 2019 to $30 million by 2024. Feeding Our Future, a Minnesota nonprofit, was supposed to feed children during the pandemic, but investigators uncovered major fraud. Millions in taxpayer dollars stolen through fake meal sites and fake paperwork. One site even claimed to feed more kids than the town actually had. But because of the high Somali population, anyone questioning the numbers was called a racist instead of actually being heard. Blind empathy and fear of being labeled racist let fraud thrive. Politicians often use our empathy to push programs funded by our money, programs that then get exploited for fraud, waste, and abuse. Conservatives who demand oversight get called heartless, but skepticism protects children, communities, and taxpayer money. This taxpayer money vanished, public trust collapsed, and then Trump called out the Somali community, and his words were harsh. But the reality is real. Some cultural
Sister, if you don't keep talking that talk, sister, if you don't keep talking that talk, sister, let these people know that it is not just a bunch of women running around here that is just mad at Trump. No, let them know that there are rational thinkers out there, dear sister. Let them know, dear sister. Let them know. Calling us racist, calling us the R word, because you want to use our empathy programs. And imagine us blacks taking advantage of our own programs. They're white brethren. Imagine my people taking advantage, full advantage like these Somalis. We don't take it. Now, I hope you can see the difference now, dear white people. I hope you can see that the blacks don't take no advantage of no damn wealth. This is taking advantage. We're not even in position to take advantage of the system. And the ones that do have some form of hand in this underhanded type of actions, it's the compromised black caucus, and they get their little kibbles and bits. Okay? But other than that, let's go, sister, cook them.
Cultural practices do clash with American laws and norms, and saying that is not racist. Taxpayer money. This taxpayer money vanished, public trust collapsed, and then Trump called out the Somali community, and his words were harsh. But the reality is real. Some cultural practices do clash with American laws and norms, and saying that is not racist. Saying that is reminding us that shared values, not identical cultures, have always held America together. Expecting asylum, assistance, and even citizenship while rejecting those shared values is entitlement. Some hard truths about Somalia. Nearly 99% of women have undergone female genital procedures.
About 35% of girls were married off as children.
Sister.
Roughly a quarter of married women live in polygamous households.
Hold on. See, my sister not coming. I told you she's not coming emotionally. She's coming with the facts. She's coming with the facts. Okay? We pulling up the facts tonight. Let's go.
Procedures.
Smack that like button. Smack that like button. It's almost about 70, 80. Smack that like button. Let's go.
Live in polygamous households. More than half of women surveyed, 35% of girls were married off as children. Roughly a quarter of married women live in polygamous households. More than half of women surveyed say wife beating is justified. You do you, Somalia, but these practices don't align with American law and values, and saying so is not racist. Culture enriches a nation. Values hold it together. Without shared values, respect for the law, and civility and protection of women and children, societies fall apart, which is why these people leave in the first place. Assimilation isn't oppression. In a pluralistic society, it is survival. America can become a place where people can truly come here if they want to be here, but only with oversight, accountability, and expectations. History shows this clearly. When entitlement is rewarded.
Who is this girl? We're going to have to get her to run for office or something, man. I mean, we're going to have to put her in front of press conferences or something. I mean, goodness freaking gracious. Come on. Let's walk.
Fraud is ignored, and politicians exploit our empathy. Communities collapse. Compassion without accountability doesn't just break programs, it destroys nations. So Ilhan Omar is all over the news right now, and I definitely think
sister was cooking. Okay? Cooking. Check this out.
Black people love Trump.
First of all, this is my page right here, right? But check out, look at all of the black love, right, that Trump is getting in my comment section. I'm gonna show you the comment section, but I'm gonna show you Trump right here, and then I'm gonna show you the comment section real quick. Okay, let's go.
The biggest vote. I got the biggest. Black people love Trump. I got the biggest vote. I got the biggest vote with black people. They know a scam better than anybody. They know what it is to be scammed.
Black people love me. And you know what? You're probably right, but
let me tell you, black people love Trump. I got the biggest vote. I got the biggest vote with black people. They know a scam better than anybody. They know what it is to be scammed.
Black people love me. And you know what? You're probably right, but
for exploiting the state's generous, high-trust social safety networks. So the Somalians are for the Supreme Court now. They just accepted this case. So it's very important.
With them accepting it, it brings me back to what I just mentioned about Senator Howard out of Michigan. The original text of the 14th Amendment did not include "and subject to the jurisdiction thereof." So it's got to mean something. Can you explain to my audience and me, what does it mean?
Yeah, very fast. After the Civil War, we enacted the 13th Amendment to outlaw slavery, the 14th Amendment to provide due process and equal protection to the freed slaves, and then the 15th Amendment to provide voting rights to the freed male slaves, which was extended to women in the 19th Amendment. But part of the 14th Amendment has a birthright citizenship clause, and the point of that was to give citizenship automatically through the 14th Amendment to the children of the freed slaves, so they could not be denied citizenship by subsequent Congresses. And as part of that debate, as you said, Joe, there is a provision in there that says that all persons subject to the jurisdiction of the United States gets birthright citizenship. And that has a very specific legal meaning. Subject to the jurisdiction means that you are loyal to the United States. So, for example, if you are an ambassador's child born in America, foreign ambassador's child born in America, you do not get birthright citizenship. If you were an invading army and you have a child in America, that child does not have birthright citizenship. If you were an American Indian, the Supreme Court held more than 100 years ago that American Indians were not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States.
Oh, wow.
And did not get birthright citizenship, so Congress had to provide birthright citizenship through statute. So ask this dispositive question. If American Indians did not get birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment, how the hell would illegal aliens? And the answer is they don't. For the Supreme Court now, they just accepted this case. So it's very important.
With them accept.
There you go. There you go. There you go. You heard it. You heard it. I didn't say anything. You heard that. You heard that. You heard that. I didn't say that. You heard that. How are these Indians, so-called Native Americans, talking about they native, but they couldn't, as of 100 years ago, they were not even allotted birthright citizenship. But we are. We have it. Let that sink in. And there are people, so Trump understands where the black people stand. Trump understands there is no other people in this country is more patriotic than blacks than whites, right? The whites understand, well, the whites that understand what is truly going on, like a Donald Trump, who has done his research, he understands that we will be patriotic no matter what, no matter the conditions. We won't flee. We will fight for our nation. He understands that. This is the bottom line. You must understand what's going on. There's a new white mindset being created. A new white man Trump is creating. Trump just went up against the MAGA deflectors and the 13 senators who turned against the Republican Party. This is what we're going against. And you're mad at Trump? You want to bring back the old business as usual with the Democrats and the Republicans working together in concert to commit fraudulent actions a la Ilhan Omar and her Pirates of the Caribbeans, and the way they have been secretly, maliciously stealing and taking our American dollars? Is that what you want? Or do you want Donald Trump to come back up into American power and clean it up? Smack that like button if you want Donald Trump to clean this up. Don't play around with that. Don't play around with that. We trying to wake up our black people. We got to wake them up. This is the mission. This is the mission. We're going to win this fight. We're not losing this war here. We're not losing this war here. We do not mind you wearing your hijabs. We do not mind you praying. We do not mind you acting a fool in your mosque. You know, you can jump up and jump. We don't mind that. All we ask is that you not attempt to infringe, push, peddle your beliefs onto American society. However, we have just found out that 18 when it's not we have to win in the midterm elections. We must. We have to. Or put your hard hats on, put your boots on, and prepare for war. Because I know you're not going to live under these conditions that these Democrats, leftist Marxist maniacs are attempting to push on you with the likes of Sharia law. There's no way we're going to allow Sharia law in our country. The gangs are going to have to stand up out there in Dearborn. These people run under the cloak of religion, which would make us look super bad if we were to go and step on them, right? If we step on them, it makes us look bad, right? It's bad PR. If our gangs start stepping on them, right? But we don't care about that right now. Smack that like button. Smack that like button. If you rolling with Trump, smack that like button. But we don't care about that right now, because it is a clear, outright, drag them out war. You people done came and entered into the wrong house. You came into the wrong domain. I promise you that. I promise you that. You people will not survive here in America. We have closed the door. You're trapped. You're trapped. You throw nasty language at me and my people, like we're not going to give you that smoke, like we're not going to give you that work. Who do these Africans think they are? Africans? I can't believe I'm sitting here talking about Africans. Like, I can't, bro. Africans? These people are the poster children of delusional. No, seriously. And they're all Islamic. All of them, every last one of these people are Islamic. All right? All right? All right. Check this out.
Keep screaming this from every mountaintop I can. That's Hassan Ali, and this is Ilhan Omar. You know who Ilhan Omar? Hassan is the president or prime minister of Somalia. They had a roundtable meeting with nothing but Africans talking about getting into American politics, but understanding that they are 100% Somalian and they will never change. Now, in this clip that I'm about to show, Mr. Ali, Hassan Ali, is talking, and he's letting it be known that Ilhan Omar is there to take a Black American seat in Congress. It is very important in hindsight, Somalia and Mexico. Somalia are activities society. This is no Rusia, they are not here to be our friends. They are not here to fight for all Black people. They are here to fight for Somalians. That's it. Those are not my words. It's their words. It's their action, right? So before y'all jump on here, look, just another jealous Black American. I'm not jealous of anything. We can't be beat. We're undefeated here. That's something y'all forgot. Mind you, this shit was on camera. So I want to know what y'all got to say about that. I already know that Black Americans have no allies at all. We don't have friends here. We don't have allies here, especially Africans. It's sad, but it's true. And it's not coming from us. It's coming from you guys, because you guys come over here to this country, automatically look at us as enemy number one. Then you get caught on camera doing this kind of shit. It's absolutely crazy, but I love when people show their true colors. Please tell me who you are so I can believe you the first time. You keep screaming this from
committed.
I'm also asking Congresswoman Craig to initiate an ethics investigation into Congresswoman Omar because of questions about federal tax fraud, federal immigration fraud, federal student loan fraud, and state violations of perjury, bigamy, kickbacks, and acts of campaign fraud abuse in Boston, Washington, New York, Chicago, and Florida. There are also violations of state ethics or of the Minnesota House ethics rules regarding apologies for speeches she gave while she was in partial control of their budgets as a member of the House Higher Education Finance Committee in both 2017 and 2018. She was found guilty of the violations by the Minnesota Campaign Finance Board 3 weeks ago in order to return those funds on June 6th. Ms. Omar appears to be a serial career criminal and should not have access to our nation's highest secrets and intelligence. Right. That is why I'm calling on our Congresswoman Angie Craig to protect both our national security and
who left his wife and daughter to marry Ilhan Omar. Holy freaking moly. This lady is a walking, talking scandal. She not only married her brother, but she's a homewrecker as well. All of this, the FBI apparently investigating, along with how Ilhan Omar is now allegedly worth $30 million. $30 million bucks. Can you say corrupt?
So it's been known for quite a while that Ilhan Omar apparently married her own brother to help him gain entry illegally into the country. That's a violation of immigration law. That actually happened, it turns out. And now we're learning the FBI had evidence to confirm it, but didn't do anything about it. Randa Devine is an actual journalist. She works at the New York Post, where she writes a column. She joins us tonight to explain what exactly happened. Randa, thanks so much for coming on.
Pleasure, Tucker. Well, some basically
And think about this. This is when Tucker was actually on Fox News. Tucker was all over this. And you would have had black Americans like, you're being racist. You're being racist. Stop it, Tucker. You're being racist. Trump, you're being racist. You would have told the blacks about this about the time when Tucker was on Fox. They would have looked at you and said you was racist. Now, look at all of this crap that's going on. Look at all of us blacks who've been screaming at the top of our lungs about these damn Democrats. Let's go. Smack that like button if you do not like the Democrats. Smack that like button. Let's go.
Republican operatives up in Minnesota decided to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on private investigators to really find out if Ilhan Omar was a genetic match, the DNA match to the man who was her second husband. They went to 3 continents. They found a cigarette butt and a drinking straw, which
Committed.
I'm also asking Congresswoman Craig to issue.
So Ilhan Omar is
Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. If you have a BBL, lipo, veneers, tummy tuck, guess what? Donald Trump said you can no longer file taxes, receive food stamps, Section 8, housing, WIC, or any type of government assistance starting March 2026. Because if you have money for all of those things, you got money to pay your rent, get you some groceries, and all of the above. And I feel like that's actually a good ass idea, and you can't file taxes either. Starting March 2026.
That man said, I make a motherfucker say, oh yeah! Oh, with the loud.
Because all you.
Starting December 16th, Meta will begin.
Donald Trump is a motherfucking boss. He literally said in the next 3 weeks that there's going to be 12 to 13 trillion dollars invested in the United States, and he's taxing other countries to do business in the United States, and he's charging $5 million for a fucking visa, which has already sold over 1,000 of them, and that was a couple weeks ago. Or a month ago. I can imagine how many sold now. Do the math. Listen to what he has to say. Hit the like, leave a comment, and share this motherfucker.
See that many countries, so
Over to $13 trillion invested in the United States.
You heard that?
And he's taxing other countries to do business in the United States. And he's charging $5 million for a fucking visa.
$5
which
million.
has already sold over 1,000 of them. And that was a couple weeks ago. Or a month ago. I can imagine how many sold now. Do the math. Listen to what he has to say. Hit the like, leave a comment, and share this motherfucker.
see that many countries. So at a certain point over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I think Scott and Howard will be sending letters out, essentially telling people, it would be very fair, but we'll be telling people what they'll be paying to do business in the United States. So essentially be paying to be doing business in the United States. I guess you could say they could appeal it, but for the most part, I think we're going to be very fair. But it's not possible to meet the number of people that want to see us. And but this was coming to UAE was very important. Coming to Saudi Arabia and Qatar was very important to me because of personal relationships that I had, maybe more than anything else. So it's been an amazing period of time. People have said very, very. I mean, I don't know. We're developing a lot of fans, but people have said they've never seen anything like's taken place over the last 4 days in terms of investment, in terms of the kind of money coming back into the United States. And all that money, the money is a nice word, but it's really jobs. We have jobs that are at a level.
Hit that like button if you're running with Trump. Hit that like button.
Nobody can duplicate it. And people want to be our partner. They want to be investing in the United States. And they weren't doing that. They weren't happy with the United States for a pretty long period of time. So we've done something that I'm very proud of. We'll be heading back now, and I look forward to that. Go back to D.C.
Now that you heard him say how much was going to be invested, that he was taxing other countries to do business in the United States. Come on now, man. Give Trump some credit. Joe Biden could have never did this. His press conference, the lady that used to answer questions for the news, man, she sucked. She wouldn't answer shit. She literally walked off the stage multiple times. Now we have a press secretary that answers everybody's question, and there's multiple people in the crowd. Why is there 100 news reporters now? And with Joe Biden, there was only a few. And then there was only a few people asking him real questions on what the fuck was going on. Why? Why was it allowed that Joe Biden could just walk off the stage with his old ass like he was about to shit his fucking pants when he was asked a question that he didn't want to answer? Why was that allowed? Because if that was Donald Trump, everybody would flip the fuck out. He's answering so many questions and doing so many press conferences and fucking going all around the world getting peace. It's not even funny. And you cannot hate on this shit. And if you do, then you just hate Trump. But hopefully you love the United States. Hopefully you enjoy and love the outcomes of what's going to be happening. because it's going to happen for all of us. But I'm just juiced that enough people voted for him to win to make it fucking happen. United we stand, divided we fall. Trump.
Oh, man.
2028, motherfucker. Donald Trump is a motherfucking boss. He literally said in the next 3 weeks that there's going to be $12 to $13 trillion invested in the United States. And he's taxing other countries to do business in the United States. And he's charging $5 million for a fucking visa, which has already sold over 1,000 of them. And that was a couple weeks ago. I can imagine.
Let's go. Heck is we talking about? It's nothing to talk about. I mean, you have a president actually getting down for America. You actually have a real president getting down for America. What is there to talk about? Smack that like button there, people. If you're running with America, what's the problem here? What's the problem here? Smack that like button if you're rolling with America. Let's go. Heck is we talking about? We have all of these nice Muslims, right, in our space right now. And, they're being very, very peaceful, aren't they? Aren't these Muslims being peaceful, y'all? And this is what we want around us. We want more hostile, unvetted people that cannot stand America around us. Is this what we truly, truly want? You want to be that peaceful. You want to think you're that moral to where you want to allow the invader, the enemy, to take over your land, kick you out your land, change your laws, kick your great grandbabies off of this land. Is that what you want? Do you want your great grandkids to inherit Sharia law on this land here in America? Is that what you want? Or are you going to stand up and fight now? Are you going to stand back and stand aside there, black man, and allow Donald Trump to do what he has to do? He is attempting to forge a new mindset in the white man. You don't get that. This man literally was hanging out with us. Not the fake Bill Clinton that you call black. Not that Bill Clinton, not him that was smoking weed and you was, yes, we wanted somebody of that ilk to, it's not we wanted it. It was nice, like, to think, oh, wow, somebody of that ilk is, feeling kind of how we feeling, smoke a little weed is here and there, It was such a heinous thing back then to smoke weed. Now it's legal on a state level. But no, the so-called black, the so-called black in President Obama did absolutely zilch for the black community. Absolutely zilch. I mean, you can look this up. He didn't run on helping the black community. He didn't run on that at all. He ran on helping for all. However, he didn't help all. He helped a certain group. He helped a certain group. He also helped a certain other group. And the Muslims, the Islamic jihadists that came in. Mondani came in from Obama. Oh yes. Oh yes. No. Well, Mondani came in from Obama laws that he enacted, that he pushed and peddled and put down and signed into law, allowing all of this backdoor, back channel shenanigans to happen with all of the funds that come out of our pockets. They're using our funds to recruit these immigrants to come over here. How the hell? Why these immigrants didn't swarm our damn borders years and years ago? Please think about that. Why is it happening right now? Why? Please ask yourself, why is it happening right now? Why didn't it happen years ago? Obama was the great deception. Obama was the turning point of USA. No point intended. Obama, not Charlie Kirk. It was Obama was the turning point. This guy brought in damn Egypt. This guy brought in the damn pyramid crew, the pyramid gang. That's what Obama did. What did he do for you, black man? What did he do for you, black woman? Don't give me that My Brother's Keeper program. Has it done wonders for you? What's the results from that? They like to he did my Brother's Keepers program. That's what they like to throw at you, right? Some of the women, right? Well, I can combat that very easily. What's the results from the Mind Keepers program? What happened as a result of this program? And is this program even still alive? They're white people. You could tell me. I mean, do you think it's working there, white people? And don't be biased here. Black people. Is it working there, black people? Think about that. What did Obama do for you? But Trump gave your HBCUs permanent funding that's going to bring in trillions upon quadrillions of dollars for years to come, because no president can come undo what Trump just did for your black people. I'm tripping about that. Let me hit these comments, man. Because when I get into the comment section, I already know what time it is. So these are coming with me. But, you know what I'm saying? Just in case I got to take the gloves off. I'm going to hit this comment section. But these are coming with me just in case I got to take the gloves off. Yeah. Just in case I got to take the gloves off. These are with me while I'm going to enter into the shadowy area of the comment section. Yeah, these are coming right with me. Because we don't play when we get into this comment section. We are not playing. These are real people with their truest thoughts. So let's cook and let's work. Let's go. Yo, shout out to Calvin Hobbs. Shout out to Calvin Hobies. And Calvin, am I saying your name right? Let me know if I'm saying your name right there, brother. I'm saying. Ayo, Beefy. Beefy Hayes said, this channel is funny as F. Know what I'm saying? Yo, man, we out here, bro. We out here. I didn't get into the comments. I'm liking what I'm seeing right now, but I know I'm going to go up in the comment section, but I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. I see my USA all day standing up. Let's go. We don't play. Jesus loves you, Beefy. That's what Calvin Hobie said. Jesus loves you, Beefy. Let's go. That's a fact. Jesus loves you. Let's go. Smack that like button there, people. Thank you so much for the love and the hearts. I thank you so much. Love seeing the hearts. Beefy, little bit. What's good, little bit? Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so kindly. Thank you so. Give you some of that action. Thank you for the love. Hobie said it's funny. Go Knicks. Shout out to the Knicks. Oh, I was just looking at the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? I was just looking at them. I said, you know what? Let me live stream because I gotta get down to business. I got to get down to business. No, it's got to get back down to business. You know what I'm saying? I'll get to the Knicks and get to see what's going on with my boys later. You know what I'm saying? The underdogs that just fighting to the top, like us Americans. How the hell you made us underdogs in our own country? Somebody help me understand that. How are you making Americans underdogs in their own country? How is Islam coming in here attempting to make Americans underdogs in their own country? How is Islam attempting to come in here and make Christianity second? Probably not even second, third. You know, they bringing in these East Indians, right? I mean, you know, what's next? What's next? Y'all want a monument of the goat? You know, you want to put a statue of a goat out here? I mean, what's next? What's next? Y'all want to, you know, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? You're going to push for a statue of Buddha? I mean, what are we doing here? Is this America or is this not America? You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest here. Nah, man, we're going to size you up here in the war zone. We're not letting you Islamic jihadist babies off the hook. You jihadist Islamic babies are truly the problem. You know, and you don't even know it. But I'm here to let you know that you're the problem. And I hope and pray that you come to God. You know, I pray that you really truly come to God and relinquish your old ways. Because Islam is very, very, very bad. Islam is not good for you. That's not good. You like suppressing women? Islamic man. That's in his comments. You like suppressing women? You like that? You like the dad telling the daughter that he has to marry that a bull-looking dude over there? You like that? You like that? I mean, I can understand as kids, it's very easy to manipulate and coerce a child to do something that they might not do had their brain been fully developed. But damn, your brain is fully developed here. I'm pretty sure on this screen right here, your brain is fully developed. Why can't you see that it's wrong what you're doing? Why can't you see that? You people are pushing me further and further into my religion and Christianity. I mean, you really are. You Pan-Africanists are upset right now. You Pan-Africanists attack, you know, what it is that we're doing as far as Christians. No Christians be hurting you people. You know, no Christians be hurting you people. This is what I don't understand. Why you hurt Christians? Donald Trump is standing up for Africa, and Africa is a complete, like he said, S-hole, right? And he's standing up for them, about to send the troops over there if they don't, like he told them in his words, quote unquote, get their act together. Because they are slaughtering Christians over there. You're not reading up on this. You're not seeing this stuff. You're not researching this stuff. Oh no, he being a racist. Trump being a racist. Trump being a racist. No, you're not. You didn't see Nicki Minaj get up there and like what Trump is doing, whether she's battling with Cardi B or not. There's no way Nicki Minaj is going to jeopardize ruining her career, right? If she didn't feel like that was near and dear to her, right? If she didn't feel like that was near and dear to her. Of course, it had, you know, something to do with, maybe it could have had something to do with Cardi, but not to that scope. There's plenty of things Nicki Minaj could have did other than get with Donald Trump. There's plenty of things she could have did. But she did that. Nicki Minaj did that. I am shocked. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. And both of them are Caribbean. Both of them are Caribbean. Cardi and Nicki Minaj. I'm shocked. But Nicki's standing on business. She see what's going on. Nah, something wrong. Nah. Just like she's calling out dudes in the rap game. She calling these dudes right out. Like, nah, dog, why was you doing that? Why was you doing in their faces, getting at Ray J? Yo, what's this? What you doing, Ray J? What's up? What happened? Asking them hard questions. Live. She asked Soulja Boy, caught Soulja Boy in some stuff, right? She's known to, be, one of those to see through deception, and if she feel like it's deception, she's calling it out. She's getting at Jay-Z and them right now. She's getting at Jay-Z and them right now. You know what's funny? She's getting after all of the people. She probably thought, like, you know what? All of these damn people that I do got beef with are rolling with the Democrats. Kikiing it up with the Democrats. Jay-Z, all of these people, they have big ties to the Democratic Party. She's like, you know what? She know that these people have the Democratic Party in the palm of their hands. She know that. She know these people do what they want. She know, look how these cases are getting just dropped all of a sudden. People are getting less time. She know that. Look what just happened to Diddy. Do you really think, look what just happened to Diddy. It's in your face. You don't see it? Don't get emotional about Diddy. You seen what this man did to our people? A lot of our children who grown up to, just been led astray. I just thank God for protecting me. Do you see this? And then God, it's amazing how I see 50 Cent all on Diddy right now. That is hilarious to me. 50 has been holding it down. He has been keeping it a buck 100,000% for the longest time. The underdogs never be getting respect until they get on top, and I'm so glad 50 is stepping on next and doing what he's supposed to do. 50, the only rapper like that I know, came out and came out for Trump big time. What's up? Like what you gonna do? And what you gonna do? Like Mike Tyson told Ebro, you out of here. We're delineating. That means you can't have your tether ass on our Hot 97 station no more. On blazing and hip hop and R&B. Get your tether ass on up out of here. Get on up out of here. If you ain't black from way back, you out of here. You out of here. You saw what happened to the BET Awards. You see what's going on with that Essence parade that they so-called had. Extravaganza. You see us shutting things down. Black America shutting it down. And people are so upset that Donald Trump gave the black man his due. You people are constantly hating on the black man. Black man don't even be bothering no damn body, no race. They only bother the people that bother them, that is black, and they get after them. People don't be bothering you. No blacks be invading white neighborhoods. No blacks be talking about whites when they're in black circles, huddled up. We don't talk about whites. They don't. They don't. I don't hear it. I have never heard it. The only time I hear it is when they're speaking about cops. It's the only time. And they know the history. And they know what a lot of you people have done. And they know the system that is still here, breathing, alive and well right now. Predicated, dedicated, targeted to suppress the black community here in America. We seen Doge deliver to the American public right before your eyes how the black community is being suppressed, because they tell you, white Americans, raise your taxes, raise your property taxes, tell you, white Americans, that we have to send funds to the black neighborhoods. The whole time They're sending it. The feds they were sending it to the state, and the state was fumbling the bag. You see, they sent it to Governor Walz. They sent $8 billion to Governor Walz. We don't have $8 billion accounted for now. That's a perfect example. They sent that money. $8 billion was supposed to go to the black community, quote unquote minority community, right? It wasn't supposed to be go to Somalians, right? It was made to go to the black community, right? Oh no, but did the blacks get any of that? Or did the blacks really get that? This is what you whites are, I'm glad, getting to understand and see. The blacks are not really getting welfare like that, like how you think. These people are the blacks are largely getting turned down. Women with whole kids gotta reclassify for the dumbest things. This is what's going on. All these other groups, damn illegals, is getting funds over the black woman. And you over here, a white man, screaming at the black woman, screaming at the black man, talking about he and she is eating up the welfare. Are you crazy? That's so far from the truth. My people are not committing no damn federal fraud. They're not committing no fraud. They're only taking the funding that's allotted to them. It's there for them, just like it's there for you, white people. It's there for you. It was actually created for the white people, or actually created for the troops that came home from World War II. What nation does that? You know what I'm saying? This is a beautiful nation. You know, they've been coming together. I'm seeing the growth in this nation. You know, that's why all of these people are jumping in the ocean, risking their lives to come over here. And then you think they'll get over here and be a model citizen. No, they want to come over here and take over. Well, freak you, nigga. Well, freak you. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. You Islamic, that ain't happening. It's just not happening. We're racist if we talk about that. If I get over here and talk about that, I'm racist. How does that work? How does that work? Orange Sunrise said Jesus was a carpenter who his own image from sticks in the mud. He grafted sticks in the mud back to life by his hands for his life. There is no kingdom except the kingdom of God. That's Calvin Hobbes. None of South Africa got better truth from taking the farms back. Minister, yo, what? Wait, what? Minister is, yo, Beefy, you would be so shooken up if the minister was to see you face to face. You would not be able to look me smack in my eyes, minister. You wouldn't be able to look at the minister in his eyes. You just wouldn't. Not face to face. You know? A real person is not getting on here speaking like that. Not a real person. Only you keyboard gangsters will get on here and speak. And it's just a testament of what Islam is about. You see, Americans, this is a testament of what Islam is about. Islam is a nation of trickery. I mean, I'm not saying that. The ex-Muslims say that. The ex-Muslims say that. I'm not saying that. Why are you mad at me? Why are you mad at me? He's mad. He's mad because we done stopped them before they can really get the chance to take over. They are sick We took their funding. We closed the borders. They are mad. They don't have no funding. They are pissed. They are pissed when Donnie, oh, I'm gonna do this to Trump. I'm gonna do, and came and bowed down because we done took their money. They wasn't expecting Trump to take their money like that. When he was fixing to run for mayor, he didn't think that they didn't even think Trump was gonna win. They didn't even think Trump was going to win. Yeah. Mondani was campaigning about that. Mondani was campaigning on how he's gonna set the commander in chief straight. He probably could have with that money. He probably could have with that money and all of these illegals that they have behind him. He probably could have. But they did not expect Trump to get in there and neutralize the whole plan. Not just neutralize it. Now we on the verge of breaking it up. We just got to get you people on board. We got to get you people more on board. You got to get on board more. The kingdom is now. Orange Sunrise said. What's up, Orange Sunrise? Bro, holy shit. Learn. Why? Orange said, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Jesus came the first stone. Oh, excuse me. Jesus cast the first stone, forgiveness, which is the foundation of love, love being the foundation of the world. And love is the highest frequency. All right? It's literally the highest frequency.
Maria's Gamesa, the moment shared with the ones you love.
All right. Hold up.
Somalia, Group Money Services, continuing on a top 20 past the
All right, check this out. Hold up.
There are 80,000 people with small business in your state. The president has been very focused, not just on them, but on you. In this extraordinary cabinet meeting, he said Somalis, quote, come from hell. They complain and they do nothing but bitch. Take a listen.
These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. We don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
That knocking is vehement agreement from his cabinet members there. I just wonder what the reaction is in your district to have that from the highest office in the land.
It's disgusting. It's completely disgusting. These are Americans that he is calling garbage. And we feel like there is an unhealthy obsession that he has on the Somali community and an unhealthy and creepy obsession that he has with me. I think it is also really important for us to remember that this kind of hateful rhetoric and this level of dehumanizing can lead to dangerous actions by people who listen to the president.
And 95% of the Somalis in your state are U.S. citizens.
Yes.
Just for clarity there. There are 80,000 people with Somali.
What I want people to know about Somali Americans is that in Minnesota especially, Minnesota is the state we chose. Most of us were settled elsewhere in the United States when we first came. I started out in Arlington, Virginia. My family chose to move to Minnesota to have our life there, to have our children there for me and my siblings. And we love our neighbors. We love being Minnesotans. We love being Americans. And lastly, I mean, Minnesota is the kind of place that doesn't just welcome refugees, it sends one to Congress. So they are incredible people who are very generous with their time and resources in making sure that you are a welcome neighbor. Omar, what I want people to know.
Congresswoman, thank you for being with us. The president attacked you personally yesterday, and I want to play more of what he said.
Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place
Trump
go.
don't be holding
These
back.
are people that do nothing but complain.
Congresswoman, how do you respond to that?
Well, thank you, Anna, for having me. I would say the president's obsession with me and the Somali community is really unhealthy. It's creepy. And I hope that he gets the help that he needs. It sounds like he is trying to deflect from the failures that he's had as president. His immigration rates are not going in the way that he's expected. We know that the tariffs are not working to make life affordable for Americans. We know that he is afraid of what is in the Epstein files, as he is fought to be the head of the pedophile protection party. And we know that right now he is being investigated for war crimes that he might have committed when he ordered what seems to be illegal attacks against boats in the Caribbean.
Congresswoman, thank you for being with us. The president attacked you personally yesterday, and I want to play more of what he said.
Omar is garbage.
Because Omar has been the kind of candidate that says, I make this promise to you, and then goes in there and fights tirelessly to keep that promise. I remember visiting him on the Capitol late nights as he was fighting for Uber and Lyft drivers. I remember visiting the governor's office, talking to other legislators, and then being like, this man won't let go. This man will not drop this, right? And I remember coming back from Washington when he got it done because he keeps his promise. And I remember him going to bat for families in the city who have young people with aspiration to get an education and live their dreams. But because their parents don't have enough money, Those dreams might have been shaken, but because of Omar, every single kid in Minneapolis and in Minnesota has an opportunity to go to college for free.
Just come in and just freeloading off of us. Coming in fighting like the president said, screaming, complaining, to take for their community, to take it. And not only take it legally, they're taking immense proportions illegally. Unfreaking believable. And this is who they're trying to bring in. Right now, she's attempting to promote this guy, Omar Fatah, who was attempting to run for mayor, all right, of Minneapolis. All right, for goodness sake, this guy is already a senator. No, but he needed to come in and take the mayoralship so they can get even more direct funds. They can have more control over it. You see the game there? Look at this.
He says we are going to increase the minimum wage to $20. I believe. Yeah. He's going to fight for rent freeze. I believe. Yeah. When he says he's going to stabilize rent, I believe. Yeah. When he says he's going to create public safety that keeps us protected, I believe. Because I have seen too many broken promises and vetoes, and it is time we get a leader that keeps his word. Yeah. Because in elected office, the only thing that you have is your word. Integrity matters. Accountability matters. Transparency matters. When you get into that office, it is easy to be corrupted. So
you would know that. Oh, you would know that, huh, Elon? Huh, Ilhan? Elon. I keep saying Elon. Huh, Elon. Ilhan. Huh, Ilhan? You would know that it's easily to be corrupted, huh? You didn't, I mean, of course. I mean, you look at the homeland you people come from. You have a culture of ripping people off like it's no thing. You have a culture of just snatching somebody's purse when they're not looking. All right, this is your culture. It's easily, and you over here gaslighting the people, and you over here, your people done took Pirates of the Caribbean and stole $10 billion. Are you kidding me? You done shot up. You wasn't even a millionaire before entering politics, and now you $30 million up.
We have trusted who have shown themselves to us, and that person is gone. Thank you so much. When we fight on a federal level, because we understand that many states can have different laws, but if we do not have a federalized gun sense policy, then we're never going to be free of gun violence. And it is also important to bring into this conversation when we think about gun violence. Oftentimes, the actual we come together to actually work. Hey everyone, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar here, and a Minneapolis resident. I am really excited to support Senator Omar Fateh to be the next mayor of the city of Minneapolis.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your support, Ilhan. You know the city. I used to work here in City Hall, and you're always fought for as City 5 residents at the Capitol. So honored to have your support. Together, we're going to build an affordable city accountable to us.
Minneapolis has become unaffordable, unattainable for so many people, and we need a leader that has a vision to make this city work for all of us, and that is Omar.
Make it happen.
Ranking number one.
You believe these people? I mean, I'm so glad these people did not take office. Look, why are they using, look at them using black music, black FBA music. It's sickening.
Yeah. Hey, I remember. But now I'm counting this. Parmesan with my account.
You recently voted against the defense.
Oh, Sam, man. Crazy business, man. Crazy freaking business, man. Unfreaking believable, man. But this is what we dealing with. So some may ask, well, what has President Trump done for the black community? Well, if you scroll down, it says President Trump signed the Future Act into law, which permanently funds HBCUs and simplifies the FAFSA application. Okay, now this sends millions upon billions and trillions of dollars permanently to the black community and investing in its higher learning. Thanks to Donald Trump, you will never have to worry about receiving funding and how much funding. Now, Obama came into office and did not give you permanent funding, black community. Obama did not give you permanent funding. Obama helped a lot of the non-Americans who he set laws to allow them to come in to this country. Okay, let's do the research. Let's not think emotionally here. Let's pull out facts. Okay, let's pull out facts. That's all I'm saying. Let's pull out facts. Let me know.
No power to respond. The truth is we are more powerful than we think we are. And I want to underscore the importance of using every single leverage that we have at our arsenal. Because we do have a lot of leverage. We need to make sure that those who are collaborating with the authoritarian regime pay a costly price.
Pay a costly price from the arsenal?
His cronies want to act like we have no power to respond.
So is that a call for violence? It kind of sounds that way, right? Steve Ferguson says this is a call for violence. Revoke Ilhan Omar's citizen naturalization and deport her. I suspect Trump and Tom Homan are looking into
have no power to respond. The truth is...
So Ilhan is so upset because she knows she might be thrown right into the slammer. You know, so she's attempting to cause an entire insurrection, right? She's attempting to get people to get out there and shout and act a fool, you know, because she wants to help rip off our government for $10 billion. You know what I'm saying? No, they have to go. Let's see what Tom Oman has to say.
Nearly 50% of the visas are fraudulent in this community. I mean, that would mean that half the Somali refugees are here in some way illegally. What's going to happen? Is something actually going to happen? Are there going to be people stripped of the visas, deported? Are we going to see that?
Absolutely. I mean, those days are over. Thank God President Trump's in the White House. We're going to look at all. I mean, we're going to look at those here illegally. Of course, we're going to look at those here under a visa, some sort of immigration process that are criminals. We're going to look at national security threats. But those who came through a process that weren't properly vetted, who didn't provide documentation, who slipped through the Biden's weak processes on, giving visas and temporary, whether student visas or visitors visas or whatever. We're going the whole gamut. President Trump has instructed us go down and we're going to deep dive all of this. And we're going to hold people accountable. So yes, there are going to be multiple deportations coming. Absolutely.
There's so many claims of a racist element to this story, and when we're talking about a certain subsection of refugees into this country, but it bears reminding to people that it wasn't very long ago at all that Americans expected that people that came to our country would contribute to the cause, would assimilate to our culture and to who we are. And we're just not seeing that at all in this community. We're seeing a community that's largely hostile to our culture, wants to bring in an Islamic culture into our nation,
while doing so and staying vastly on the dole, on some kind of assistance, taking more than they contribute. Knowing all of that, here's Ilhan Omar on with DHS. She said nearly 50% of the visas are fraudulent.
Crazy.
Reduce the cost of living, you want to reduce the cost of housing and food and education and everything else, deport, remigrate. If we deported 10 million migrants from America, that would instantly free up 2.5 million housing units. It would be like you snapped your fingers and suddenly you had 2.5 million homes available in America that you didn't have before, without pulling a single building permit, without pouring a single yard of foundation, without driving a single nail. Do that for 180 million third world migrants, and suddenly you have 45 million units of housing available. You think that might make housing more cost effective? Reduce the cost of living? You want to reduce?
Exactly.
Have no power to respond. The truth.
180 million migrants there, people. 180 million, bro. I mean, come on, bro. Come on, bro. I'm just tired of that, man. I'm just tired of it.
Admitted.
I'm also asking Congresswoman Craig to initiate.
So breaking news, dead man. Starting December 6th.
Else, and so the 14th Amendment was passed as a guarantee to ensure that. Now, obviously, that did not get us to where we wanted to be, but it was a start. And the reason for it was obvious, because the people for which it was designed for were all either brought here against their will, or they were descendants of individuals who were brought here against their will. And so let there be no doubt that when the 14th Amendment was written and ratified, it was absolutely positively the right thing to do. But then fast forward almost 100 years later to 1965, when we start passing the Immigration Act of 1965. Now that begins a slow stream of illegal migration and immigration into the United States. But then when you fast forward to modern times and you realize that, well, there's a political party that has actually made illegal migration a central plank in their party's platform, well, now the problem has completely exasperated itself. So the big difference here is that unlike 1868, at the time that the 14th Amendment was ratified, where we were clearly trying to take care of people who had been brought here against their will, now it is being used for people who are coming into this country against the country's own will because, well, they are in fact what? That's right, illegal immigrants. And if their very existence in the country is illegal in and of itself, then are they truly and subject to the jurisdiction thereof? Because that's what the Barbera case comes down to. Now, again, I told you we're going to try to keep it right down the middle. So let's give you some arguments both in favor of upholding the injunction against President Trump's order, which would mean that President Trump's order was null and void. And then we'll also give you some arguments in favor of overturning the injunction, thus allowing President Trump's executive order to go in place. Now, for those who are opposed to President Trump's executive order, they point out, and this is true, that when you take a look at the entire purpose of the 14th Amendment, it was intended to be broad, that it went well beyond just the free slave, and that it was continuously used for many people who sought asylum to the United States for legitimate reasons, all of which is true. Another argument, of course, points out that, well, if we're going to be textualist about the whole thing, there is no exception really there too, and it certainly is no exception based upon race or anything like that. One of the strongest arguments they have is, well, this is the way it's always been done. And that is, in fact, correct. It always has had a broad application. And in one of the most famous previous challenges to the birthright citizenship, a case of United States v. Wong Kim Ark, a case from way back in 1898, in which a person born in the United States but to two Chinese parents who were immigrants upon re-entry was excluded under the Chinese Exclusion Act. Challenged all the way to the United States Supreme Court. The United States Supreme Court said absolutely, positively, and without a doubt, he's an American citizen because he was born in the United States. But then there are some pretty good arguments as to why President Trump's order perhaps really did codify the true intent of the 14th Amendment. I mean, the truth of the matter is you cannot have citizenship in a country without consent of that country, without consent of those citizens. If you and your spouse went to France and had a child there, I can assure you that they are not born a French citizen. Remember this too, is that with citizenship, of course, comes the right to vote and share in the decision-making of what we, the people, get to decide. But that membership into that community is one of acquiescence by the citizens themselves. There's an argument as to the direct effect it has on democracy, because democracy is a shared power in the decision-making, and it is given to we, the people. But that membership into that community is something that needs acquiescence from everyone in fact through that community. And should membership in that community ever be predicated upon what is illegal activity? Else, and so the 14th Amendment.
Exploiting the state's generous, high-trust social safety networks. So the Somalians are really funny. They have a characteristic that's endemic to the third world, a kind of cognitive dissonance. They don't want to live there. They fight like hell to escape their shithole nations and come to first world countries. Of course, our concern in particular is America, but they do it to Europe too. Their nations are utterly shitholes, and no one knows it better than them. That's why they fight so desperately to get out and not be sent back. If you're a third world Muslim in America, your worst nightmare is that you'll be sent back to your home nation, your third world nation. At the same time that they understand that, and their conduct, their actions are utterly consistent with that belief, they simultaneously somehow believe that their low IQ third world nation invented all the things and is the best place to live on earth. It's unbelievable. This is true of the Indians. This is true of the Somalians. It's true of every other sub-Saharan African. They somehow hold within a single brain the understanding that they come from a shithole and also their home nation is the best place on earth. It's amazing. Look at the dunes and the water. It's gorgeous. Look how happy.
Trump signed an executive order earlier today that designates chapters of the Muslim Brotherhood as foreign terrorist organizations. The Muslim Brotherhood is a Sunni Islamist organization founded in Egypt back in 1928, and the White House argues this designation will help the US combat the group's transnational network, which is set to fuel terrorism against US interests and allies in the Middle East. Army, is there going to be much resistance to this move by Donald Trump? Surely the Democrats aren't going to side with the Islamist Muslim Brotherhood.
Yeah. First of all, I spent over a year researching and interviewing members of the Muslim Brotherhood around the world. I went to Cairo and Istanbul and Beirut, Germany, and I met with dozens of Muslim Brotherhood leaders and lay people around the world. And I can tell you it's one of the most dangerous organizations that exists. So kudos to the president for designating them, asking and pushing this for years as a terrorist organization. As far as your question when it comes to the left, they're going to cry foul this. Of course they are. The Muslim Brotherhood was telling me that they have co-opted the left. That was part of their strategy. And they of course adopt the language of the left. Talk about victimhood and colonization, right? And
He's cooking. He's right. They have colonized the left. They have colonized the Democratic Party, and they don't even follow the value system of the Democratic Party. Okay, let's go.
Occupation. These are all things that they use. They know that the left kind of is attracted to that, and the left has been, for the most part, supportive. The left makes arguments for them, saying they're not a political organization, they're a religious organization. You can't go after them. You can't attack them. While they are those things, and by the way, so is organizations like Hamas, but their main point of business is terror. Hamas, and I mentioned Hamas a couple of times, because Hamas is a direct offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood. Al-Qaeda is an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood. There are almost a dozen terrorist organizations across the world that consider themselves part of the Muslim Brotherhood. Their slogan is "Jihad is the way," and "Dying for Allah is the greatest good." That's their slogan. This is not me saying this. This is them saying this about themselves. They're incredibly dangerous. And by the way, they have really spent a lot of time and effort in Europe and the United States. The largest Islamic organizations in the U.S., CARE, the student organizations, are part of the Muslim Brotherhood. They're associated with the Muslim Brotherhood. And also, very dangerously, they are really involved in the jails. Most people who convert to Islam in the jails do it under the auspices of the Muslim Brotherhood, and 35 to 40,000 people a year are converting to Islam in our jails. And the latest estimates are that 15% of the total population of jails are actually Muslim, and it's a direct response directly because
fascinating.
The Muslim Brotherhood has been converting them. Yeah,
that is fascinating. President Donald Trump signed an executive order.
Muslim Brotherhood recruiting 30,000 people per year. I mean, it's just unbelievable, man. They coming over, man. You better not come over here with that with me, man. I might haul off and start swinging, punching you in your. I might haul off and punch you dead in your noggin, man. Please, man, don't bring that over to me, especially when I know it's a trick. Do not bring that over to me. All right, this is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like the senator right here.
When you argue with a fool, you just prove there are two. And I consider Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman Tlaib, Congresswoman Presley, I think is her name. They call themselves the Squad. I consider them to be fools.
There's an old political proverb that says, when the town crier whispers, the tyrant shouts. So before we dive in, hit like, share, and subscribe to Uncensored Headlines. And grab a drink of your choice, whether it's coffee, whiskey, water, shampoo, for the future of this country, more than they want.
In my opinion, fell short of the mark. Number two, frankly, I don't know why the president felt the need to tweet on this subject at all. When you argue with a fool, you just prove there are two. And I consider Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman Tlaib, Congresswoman Presley, I think is her name. They call themselves the Squad. I consider them to be fools. They hate America. They think America was wicked in its origins, and it's even more wicked today. They ought to be thanking America instead of calling America evil and wicked and racist. But this is America, and they have the right to their opinion. But I don't like to see the president even dignify their point of view. Besides that, I think that the Squad, as they call themselves, they are destroying the Democratic Party. When your opponent is screwing up, don't interrupt him. Let him go. Just looking at this from a political standpoint, if I didn't know better, I would think the members of the Squad were GOP plants. They think that illegal immigration, socialism, higher taxes, abortion are all moral goods. They think America, Israel, free enterprise are moral bads. That's not what most Americans believe. And that's kind of where I am on the subject. The president has explained his position. He has said, look, here's what I meant. If you're not happy living in America, leave. I agree with that assessment. When you argue with a fool,
not just people who say bad things, but people who are actual terror supporters, act in ways that are conducive to actual terror groups. I wanted to give you a moment to sort of explain the approach that the State Department is taking in taking a look at, for example, student visa holders. And what are the standards that are being used to determine whether somebody should stay in the United States or should go? Because obviously opponents of the administration are arguing it's violations of free speech. People have the ability to say what they want. That's not an argument that the administration is actually arguing with. The administration is not trying to crack down on free speech. You're trying to actually stop something else.
Yeah, well, let's start with the baseline. Okay, no one is entitled to a student visa to enter the United States. No one. It's not a constitutional right. It's not a law. We every day, consular officers on the ground in face-to-face interviews are denying people visas for all kinds of reasons. Because we think you're going to overstay, because we think your family member is a member of a drug ring, whatever it may be. We deny visas every day all over the world. No one's entitled to a visa. Let's start with that. Because I hear some of this reporting out there, like if somehow you're allowed to have a visa unless we can come up with a reason why you shouldn't have one. That's not true. The burden of proof is the other way. Now, let's say you go to a window somewhere in the world and say, I want to go to the United States to study at a university. And as part of that interview, it comes out, you think Hamas is actually a good group. We probably would not let you in. I would hope we wouldn't let you in. Okay. But let's say we don't ask you that question and you get into the U.S. on a student visa and all of a sudden it becomes obvious you think Hamas is a good group. Well, then we should revoke your visa. In essence, if we would have denied, if we learned things about you once you're here that would have caused us to deny you a visa when you were overseas, that's grounds for revocation. It is not in the national interest of the United States. It's not in our foreign policy interest. It's not in our national security interest to invite people onto our university campuses who are not just going to go there to study physics or engineering, but who are also going to go there to foment movements that support and excuse foreign terrorist organizations who are committed to the destruction of the United States and the killing and the kidnapping of innocent civilians, not just in Israel, but anywhere they can get their hands on them. That's not in our national interest. So we have a right to deny visas before you get here, and we have a right to revoke them if we believe that your presence in our country undermines our national interest, our national security, and our foreign policy. And that's what we intend to do. Now, listen, there are other student visas that are being canceled that have nothing to do with us, by the way. And that has to do with someone, for example, who is here on a student visa and has a DUI. And I don't know, that's not us, that's DHS. But I don't know if people realize if you commit a crime while you're in the U.S., that's an automatic grounds for revoking your visa. And no one was ever doing it. They weren't doing it. They weren't cross-referencing the system. Now they're starting to do that. So that's the majority of these. But we have identified, I can't tell you the exact number because it's static and it's constantly moving. But when someone is presented to me and it's clear that this person is a supporter of a foreign terrorist organization, we're going to remove them from the country. You're not going to be here. It's just that simple. What a stupid thing. What a ridiculous thing to invite people in your country so they can be part of these movements that are terrorizing fellow students, tearing up campuses, shutting down campuses. We have campuses in America that couldn't even operate for weeks. People couldn't go to class. Are we crazy? What other country in the world would allow this? We shouldn't allow it.
Secretary Rubio, I think that the controversy that's arisen over, for example, the detention of Mahmoud Khalil, who is one of these students at Columbia University, who has a green card, but who was also engaged in protest activities that violated the law, who obviously was sympathizing openly with terror attacks by Hamas and all the rest of this. The sort of controversy here, there's a common thread to the opposition to the Trump administration on this stuff, which is, as you mentioned, this bizarre idea that people are somehow owed entry to the United States. I think that ties in very strongly to the Democrats' new approach to what's going on with this Salvadoran migrant who's now been deported to El Salvador. The administration has taken a legal position that basically now that he's in Salvadoran custody, that it's up to the Salvadorans whether to return this person to the United States or not for further due process concerns. But that's really not the case that's being made by opponents of the administration. Many of the opponents of the administration are making a more significant case, which is the idea that basically if you get into the United States, you are somehow owed a permanent status in the United States. And you're seeing this across the board, ranging from the Trump administration's moves to get rid of temporary protected status for people who have entered en masse under the Biden administration, to the resistance to DHS or the State Department making moves with regard to the tens of millions, possibly, of illegal immigrants who've been brought into the country by the Biden administration. There's this bizarre supposition that everyone on earth is somehow owed passage to the United States and permanent membership in our society.
Yeah, and I think it explains to you why we have the immigration crisis that we had. And it was the belief, they would all say, we believe we should have immigration laws, of course, but if you get into the United States, you should be allowed to stay. If you make it here illegally, no matter how you got here, then you should be allowed to stay. I mean, I think that mindset that's being revealed in these cases tell you how you get 12, 13, 14, 20 million people entering the country unlawfully and illegally over the last few years because of this mindset that, yeah, we have immigration laws, but we don't really mean it. Once you get in, you should be allowed to stay here indefinitely, and we have some sort of obligation to accommodate you here in the country. That's how you create this mindset that led to that crisis, and people know it. It's all incentive-based. People believed under Joe Biden, rightfully they believed, if I could just get across the border, I'm going to get to stay. Absolutely right. I mean, there's a reason why no one's coming now. You know, one of the problems I'm facing right now with countries in the Central America and the Western Hemisphere? U-turns. A lot of people were headed here. They realized Trump was serious. They made a U-turn, and now these countries are complaining, oh, they're stuck in my country. Well, you facilitated their transit for years. Now they're stuck with them as a result of it. But that's actually happening. Why? Because the incentives are no longer to come. The incentives are not to come. It's been successful. It's the most secure border we've had in my lifetime. I mean,
there you go. The most secure border we have had in our lifetime. You know, and you know, these people think that they have a clear license to come over here, and when they get over here, we're just supposed to just let them stay. No, I think not.
It's finally happening. We're deporting Somalians. It only took over $1 billion being stolen from taxpayers to happen, but hey, better late than never, I guess. Trump even went on air and called the country of Somalia garbage, and let me let you in on a little secret. Come here. He's right. They come from a terrible country that nobody wants to live in. That's why they leave. They come here and then they complain. And they don't do anything but drain the system. 88% of Somalian immigrants are on welfare. You guys remember Ben Stiller, the actor with the big ears and the huge nose? Well, he made a post about it. He goes, guys, Somalians aren't garbage. Okay, they're refugees and they're humans just like us. And I have a counterpoint for you, Ben. You live in gated communities in multi-million-dollar mansions, and you don't have to deal with these people at all. So how about this? Until you open one of your numerous multi-million-dollar houses to them, to house them, shut up. Because people who actually contribute to the system, who pay taxes, who work for a living, and who have to deal with these people, we don't want them here. I don't want to hear the call to prayer played in the streets. I don't want to walk outside and see people praying in the parking lots and on the roads. Do that in the privacy of your own home. I don't want to call tech support and have an Indian person who doesn't speak English trying to help me with my problems. I don't want to walk around and see signs in both English and Spanish. That's not assimilation. So if you're refusing to concede to those points, it's finally happening. We're deporting Somalians. It only took over $1 billion being stolen from taxpayers.
Dude ain't lying. Come on, man. Come on, man. You people got to go. What are you talking? What are y'all doing? What is this about, man? I mean, come on, man. And you calling it, using the playbook, using our playbook against us. Yo, bro, we not with none of that, bro, at all, man. We're just not with it, man. We're done with it, man. Look how they took your job.
Their jobs.
It wasn't called training or replacement. It was called knowledge transfer. Craig D'Angelo worked for Northeast Utilities, now called Eversource, and was one of 220 IT workers replaced by H-1B visa employees.
And just multiply this by hundreds of thousands. So now we have these jobless, underemployed American citizens. So we can import hundreds of thousands of third world migrants who have no affinity to America or our culture or our values. They never assimilate. They're not even supposed to stay. The whole point of an H-1B visa is 3 years, maybe extendable to 6 years, and then they're supposed to go home, but they do not. They don't go home. They stay. like an un-American cancer in our body politic, because we give them green cards or we let them transition to some other visa category that lets them stay. And then we make them paperwork American citizens like Dinesh D'Souza. Scratch them and you find another Indian ethno-fascist. Why do we need those in America?
D'Angelo, take their jobs. It wasn't called training or replacement. It was called knowledge transfer. Craig D'Angelo worked told him he was making half D'Angelo's salary with no benefits. I didn't.
No benefits.
Wants to be a black girl from India told him he was making half D'Angelo's salary with no benefits. I didn't.
No benefits. On some of these visa categories, they don't have to pay FICA for these employees. That saves the company another 15% on top of the 50%. And we're supposed to believe the reason they're hiring these people, often at entry-level positions, by the way, often at menial positions, is because Americans are incapable of doing these jobs. No, at 35% of the pay.
Girl from India told him he was making half. Wants to be a black girl from India.
You've seen this abuse. You've seen this affect American workers?
Oh, yes. Thousands and thousands of American workers. And it's not coming off 5 years of the unemployment line. These are workers that have been working decades in these companies who are doing a great job, nothing against them in their employment file, and they're being told by the hundreds. They get together and say, hey, all of you are being fired. You're all being replaced by these new workers. In the end, the workers are paid a lot less, and the bonuses at the end of the year for those CEOs go up dramatically. The foreign workers, like you said, have to have that visa support by the employer. So how are they going to change jobs if they're being paid little and they're being worked to death and the conditions are not great? But what are they going to do? They're stuck with those employers. So they are suffering. And the winner in this isn't the foreign worker. The winner is not the American worker. It's the CEO and the executives who are making millions of dollars off of this.
America as a nation has sovereignty over our borders and our territory. We get to control who comes in and who doesn't, not the corporations. And Americans' government is supposed to be serving the interest of the American people, not the whole world, not the third world, not India, and not corporate executives. The American people. Absolutely.
You've seen this abuse. You've seen this affect American workers?
Oh, yes. Thousands and thousands of American workers.
Take their jobs. It wasn't called training or replacement.
Most alarmingly, a lot of that money is funneled through money traders, and in the end, ends up in the hands of al-Qaeda-linked Islamic terror group Al-Shabaab. So to bring this full circle, the Minnesota taxpayers are funneling money through fraudulent autism claims back to Somalia, where that money lands in the accounts of
Ladies and gentlemen, we got big news coming out of Minnesota as, again, for many years, many voters in the United States have pointed to Minnesota as getting out of control because the head congresswoman out there from a very popular district full of Somalis is Somalian herself.
You see what's going on. You see what's happening. We are at a point in time to where we are going to have to truly stand up. You know, we're going to have to cut through the fat. We're going to have to take off the gloves. We cannot keep allowing these leftist Marxists, you know, continue to fracture our political infrastructure. And the thing is that, you know, we want change with our political system, but, you know, we don't want our political system to be just conquered and taken over, by a foreign agent. We don't want that. We don't want our country divided up like Africa. We don't want that. We don't want subsections of all of these immigrants who have fled their land and screaming at us that our land is bad and evil and it's wrong the way the white man and the black man get along in their own country. We're tired of that. We're tired of you attempting to call us racist. We're tired of you calling us racist. That really, really boils my blood. When people try to call us racist, it boils my blood. But it's warfare. It's time to pull the sword out. I'm not thinking about you and the way you feel about the way we speak, or if we are speaking too harshly for you. We don't care about that. We want to send direct messages to the commandos, the ones who have that commando spirit in them. This is what people like myself and Donald Trump is doing right now. We're in the business of doing that right now. Waking up that American commando, that American spirit. All right? We cannot allow these people to keep duping us. When Doge has pulled out what these people are doing, and you still, oh no, I don't like what Trump, I don't like what he said. You heard him, he cursed. What is this, the demolition man? What is this, the demolition? What is this, the be well country now? Bruh, if we curse, we curse. Take it and hold it. We don't care the way you feel. We want you people out of our country. This is a mandate, and we want you people out of our country. And like Trump said, you people getting out of our country one way or the other. But you're going to be out of here. You're out of here. Now, I appreciate you all for stopping by. Calvin Hobbies, I appreciate you, Captain. I see you out there, man, holding it down, spreading the good word of Jesus, spreading the good word of God, not allowing these invaders who attempt to parade around like religious gods sway our people the wrong way. I appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate all of you for stopping by. August, talking about they can't name it. Yo, bro, I'm with you. Calvin, I see you, dog. I see you holding it down, swinging at them, man. People crazy, and we're peaceful people, but but listen, the Bible tells us it's a time and place for everything, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a time for war, time for peace. And it's time for war. It's time for war. I love you all. Make sure y'all smack that like button on the way out. Smacking that like button is saluting the USA. I love you all except for the ones that I don't. Peace.